Good. And it's 1:05, so I think I'll get started with this Sunday chat. So hi everyone, thank you for coming. Thank you for giving up your time today and every week that you have so far for this recurring Sunday Pysanky chat. So for those of you, yeah, for those of you that are new, my name is Joan Brander. I'm the moderator of the chat. I live in Vancouver, and with my family business, we operate the e-commerce website named Baba's Beeswax, and we provide Pysanky supplies, workshops, and learning resources, anything to do with Pysanky. So these Zoom chats are educational in tone and informal in nature. I have the free Zoom application, so it's going to be 40 minutes long. If we don't finish in 40 minutes and we're unceremoniously cut off by Zoom, I invite you to just log back in with the same password and passcode and meeting ID, and we will just finish the meeting in a second presentation. So I'd like to start and continue with some PowerPoints. It just helps me with my presentation. So I'm going to share this PowerPoint with you. So first of all, I should ask, can you see this PowerPoint slide?
Yes.
Okay, good. So next slide. So here is the first slide. And this Zoom is sponsored by Baba's Beeswax. It's a free event, as I mentioned before. And somebody contacted me privately last week and asked about Baba's Beeswax. They asked about the website, what was the website address, and how to get supplies from them. So I don't know if that person is on this chat today. I can't see everybody, but let me just say that the website for Baba's Beeswax is on here. The company is Baba's Beeswax. The e-commerce site is babasbeeswax.com. So please feel free to go to the website. There's a lot of helpful information there. So these Zoom chats have been regular since the beginning of the pandemic, so over a year ago. And these are some of the topics we've covered so far. I'm very proud and happy to cover so many educational things and so many informational topics, all relating to Pysanky, just spanning by 30 years of experience with giving workshops and teaching and being involved with Baba's Beeswax. In terms of my own personal experience, I've been doing this my whole life. My heritage is Ukrainian Canadian, and I just have Pysanky ingrained in me. So today's topic, with Easter just 1 week away, and we are coming to the end of Easter week and getting our Pysanky all made. The last thing we usually do, and it's optional, is to apply varnish to our eggs. So I wanted to have an educational topic today that would cover varnishing Pysanky. So I hope you're all okay with that. Let's just wrap our heads around that for a moment. And these are some of the topics that we can cover. Is my PowerPoint big enough?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay,
I can
there's
see it
not
well.
going to be much on here. Okay, so when do we apply varnish? Well, if you're using full eggs, put the varnish on before you empty the egg. Before you blow out your egg, you put your varnish on the egg and then you empty it out if that's what you choose to do. And if you're using an empty eggshell, you put the varnish on at the very end. So what the varnish does is it gives just another layer of protection and shine to your finished egg.
So do you mean on that slide you just showed that at the top, the first time it says under using full eggs, where it says after last dye, that shouldn't apply to using full eggs?
No, it does. you have your full egg. You're making a Pysanky using a full egg. You go through all your color sequences, and whatever your last color is, let's just say for discussion's sake, it's black. Your last color is black. That's your last dye, and then you would
empty.
varnish your, yes.
Okay.
Then you varnish after all the dyeing steps are done.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, and so a long time ago, you know, when I started making Pysanky, this is how we applied the varnish. So I'm just going to show you a very short video that shows you how it's done. I'm just going to stop for a moment because I'm not sure if I did the correct share. I did. Okay, that's good. You should be able to see and hear this little video. Very short.
Varnish has taken the place of animal fat to polish and preserve the design. Each hand makes the old.
Okay, so that is just a little video showing how we used to varnish eggs. And, you know, how I learned how to varnish eggs. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And you can see that the maker of this beautiful star rosette design placed it on a drying board to dry. So a drying board is just, you can actually make one yourself. Just use a piece of cardboard, and you need some thumbtacks, and you invert the thumbtacks from the bottom until you have like a tripod shape, and just rest your egg on there. I know, Eve, you have a beautiful custom-made drying board. Do you have it there? Do you just want to show it on the screen? Are you oh, it's okay if you don't, but I thought you might have it on your desk.
We're going.
You want? Okay, it's beautiful. It's all with a lovely custom wood, I would say. And Eve will just show us. There's one that he made. So he's got, how many eggs can you fit on there? 12? 15?
I think it's for 16.
16 eggs, so that's perfect. So yes, you can varnish them all at once. Now, just going through that, you know, remembering how that video was shown and how you have varnish all over your hands. I remember following doing that, I had to clean my hands with lard or butter or some sort of grease, and it was just a real messy undertaking. So it requires some sort of hand cleaner to get all that varnish off your hands. So why not use disposable gloves instead? It's a much easier way to do it. So these are the type of disposable gloves that I use. And an alternative is just to use a plastic bag. So you can, you know, put your hands inside a plastic bag. You have to be very careful you don't drop the egg, and just, you know, you rub the egg with the varnish by hand and then put it onto the drying board. Now, I wanted to go through a list of the various types of varnishes that we can use, and you might want to take some notes if you know about this. So I've researched the brand name and the product name and some of the description of the finishes, and I think there's about 8 different finishes that we can use. Some of the descriptions are pretty repetitive. You know, they all want to claim that they have the best results, that they have the shiniest and the best ones with these different brands. The only thing you really have to be careful about is that you use an oil-based product. So when you go to the hardware store or the art store, do not get any type of varnish that is water soluble. And the reason is that your eggs are dyed with a water-based dye. So you cannot use a water-based product because that will just wash away the dyes. So the most important thing is oil-based products. So this one is by Cabot or Cabot, however you say it, and it's called Gloss Polyurethane. The next one, this is the one that I use, and it's really good. Its brand name is Delta Ceramics, and it's a gloss varnish. Now, when you look at the bottle, you can see that it's kind of milky in color, and it's almost deceiving because it does dry clear. So don't be taken aback by the fact that this is a milky product, but I do use this one made by Delta Ceramics, a gloss varnish, because I like a high gloss. So look for gloss. You know, the glosses are semi-gloss, matte, high gloss, and those types of finishes. This is another one. It's by Envirotex, and it's an epoxy. It's something that you pour on. It's a little bit more, I would say, work intensive to use on eggs because it's very thick, and you know, you would have to dip your egg into the solution and drip off the excess and let it dry. But if you can't find one of the preferred varnishes, you could try this one. Again, it's a high gloss finish. This one, again, is another finish that's high gloss. It's made by Golden, and they call it hard MSA top coat. It resists ultraviolet radiation because that's what you can get sometimes if your eggs are exposed to sunlight. That would be ultraviolet, and that can often fade your eggs. What this one, the quality I like about this one, or the property, is that, and you can see the last sentence here, it can be used over acrylic, oil, and alkyd. So this is a very acceptable varnish to use on water-based colored Easter eggs. Another one that's quite common in the hardware store is called Clear Coat Diamond, and they claim that it's non-yellowing. So that's another quality to look at when you're looking at the can from the hardware store, that it says non-yellowing, because when you have a Pysanky, usually we start with a white egg, or in some cases a different color, as Eve was showing us. But if you're using a white egg, sometimes you have large areas of the egg that are white, and some products will yellow over time, and you don't like that. In fact, if you've got some old Pysanky in your collection that have been varnished, perhaps you might see evidence of yellowing. This is another really good one that I like to use. It's by Liquitex, again, a high gloss varnish.
I bought this one.
You have this one?
Yeah,
Excellent. Yes. So how do you like it, Eve?
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it too. It
Yeah.
dries clear. It's usable on acrylic surfaces. It's non-yellowing, water resistance, permanent, high gloss. Yeah, so this, I think, is the best one to use. Liquitex high gloss varnish. And I'm sure it comes in different shapes and sizes, bottles, cans, quarts, whatever. Just get as much as you need. This is a very popular one. That when I say popular, it's very easy to find in the hardware store. It's called Minwax. They call it polyurethane. Again, it's fast drying, durable, and clear.
I
A
bought
clear
this one
gloss.
too. Yeah.
You have this one too.
Yeah, but I don't try.
Haven't
Again,
tried it yet. Okay. So
yeah.
this one comes in a can.
Joan,
Yes.
Joan, I
Yes.
was wondering, is that the same as the varathane, the polyurethane? Because I have
Yes.
something called varathane, but I think it looks very similar to me. The can looks similar.
Yes, it would probably be the same. Just look at the properties. Make sure, you know, if you make sure it says it's gloss, that it's clear, and make like you have to look at the ingredients to see something that is solvent based. Now, I almost want to ask Eve about this because he's our science expert. When I say use something that's solvent based, what does that mean?
Solvent base. Oh, it's about petrol, fuel. Yeah.
Yes, it's how it's made. So
Uh,
what would be another word for solvent? Would it be like naphtha or any sort of those words that relate to the oil and gas industry? I
yeah,
mean, these products, they're not environmentally friendly, let's put it that way. Okay, they're toxic, they're stinky, they're not friendly to the environment. So that's something to think about, and I do talk about that a little bit as well.
it smells very, very hot, this one. Yeah.
Yes, you have to be in a well-ventilated area for sure. When I've used this product, I've actually done it in my workshop and left the eggs in there for a long time, like days, overnight days or whatever. Just, yeah,
Oh,
that's
I
the
know
only
what I could say
downside.
about this, Joan. It's when that lid dries on top of the can, it gets really, really hard. Like the varnish will harden on top, and sometimes it's really difficult to take it off. So you have to pry it off with a screwdriver or something that's sharp enough to lift it up.
Absolutely, I agree. It's like a paint can. If you've ever been less careful than you should be with a paint can, and you've got paint, or in this case, varnish on the lid, on the lip, where it seals into the groove, it
Yes.
can harden and dry and seal the can, and it will be hard to open.
Yeah.
I should also say, I have had varnishes for years and years and years where I haven't used them. And when I do open the can, if there's only half a can in there, the top layer could actually have hardened. And I've had to break it or open it or something, and the fresh varnish is underneath. So, you know, there is a time factor with using these. That's why I've always gotten the smallest container I could, just so that there's no wastage. But of course, if you're having a hard time finding these products, you know, over time, you might want to get a bigger size.
This one is
Joan,
the
Joan, one of the questions on the chat is there a spray-on varnish?
There is. I'm not sure if I have it covered here or not. How about I cover that in the last slide, okay?
Okay.
I don't remember what these slides are. Thank you, Joyce, for the question. And Yves, what was your comment?
This one is the less expensive. C'est le moins cher. It's less
Less expensive. Yes, yes. So, yeah, I agree. Easy to find, less expensive, and works really well. Minwax. One more is this brand called Sign Painters. Again, it's called One Shot Clear, protects from UV, and the brand name is Sign Painters. So depending where you live, not every brand name is available to you. So that's why I'm covering a lot of different brands. This is also a very good one that I've used. Its brand name is Stevenson. And you can see that caution sign on there, the skull and crossbones, which just indicates it's very toxic. So most of these varnishes are, and this one, this solvent-based product, it even says it's a satin varnish, so it's not as shiny as the gloss, but it has a distinct hazard sign on it, just to be careful when you use it. And I'm sure when you read the instructions, it will say all the safety things you should be, like use it in fresh air and stuff like that. So you asked about the spray varnish. Yes, there are products. I did not include them in these slides, but there are spray varnishes that you can use. I'm always weary about spray only in terms of having the egg fall off whatever I'm holding it on to spray it, because it's got air, right? When you press the aerosol, it's got air and you're spraying it around. So somehow you have to turn the egg. Now, one thing you can do, and I've done in the past, if I'm using empty eggs, which I almost do exclusively, I have a bamboo skewer. And so I'll stick this in the hole and my egg will be here, and you can spray that way and you can turn the egg. But I find that the egg turns what's the word? It turns on its axis kind of on its own. So you might not be spraying evenly. You try to turn the egg, and the only thing that's happening is you're turning the skewer and the egg is staying stationary. It's a little bit tricky, but if you can't find the other varnishes, absolutely spray on will work. Just again, those qualities, that it's solvent based and that it's, it's high gloss for you. So you have to look at the properties that you want, because keeping Pysanky in china cabinets or whatever, well, not necessarily china cabinets, but wherever sunlight comes into your room will fade them. That's a really unfortunate part.
Joan, I have
Yes.
a question about a paintbrush. Would you ever consider using a paintbrush, or would it
Yes,
be
you
okay
could.
to use a paintbrush?
Sure, you could, but again, okay, so first of all, it's going to be very difficult to clean your paintbrush after, right? Because the varnish will be on there and it's going to dry. And
Right.
secondly, how are you going to keep the egg stationary? You're applying the brush, and again, your egg is going to move around, whether it's on a skewer or a drying board, wherever it is. It's a little trickier. You still need one hand to hold the egg stationary
Right.
and then use your paintbrush. So you can, but again, you'll be compromising your paintbrush.
Right.
It just seems that using my hands is the easiest. What method did you use, Eve?
I use the paintbrush to
Okay, how did you clean it? How did you clean the paintbrush?
have Varsol.
Varsol. Okay.
Yeah,
Parcel.
a thinner. Yeah.
Yes, paint thinner. I can see.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Another toxic, uncomfortable thing to do, but it does work. Okay. So you wouldn't want to do just a couple eggs at a time because it's a lot of work. So you would do, like, if you've made a lot of eggs, let's just say, for example, a dozen eggs, maybe you want to use a paintbrush. Any other experience with using varnish that anybody wants to share how they use it? Because I've said how I use it, how Eves uses it. And have you tried different ways, Iris?
I tried the paintbrush once, and I have something like Eve has, a bed of nails. So I think what I did was I just moved it. Once I did one side, I would move it around to the other side and then paint it that way.
Yes, that's the practical side of it, which is perfect. Very good.
Yeah.
So this slide,
Oh,
sorry. No, this
I
slide.
just noticed the vegetable oil there too. I actually tried the vegetable oil one year, and I thought it kind of had the same glow as the varnish. Like, it seemed similar to me, but then also I think it comes off. Like, when I would touch the egg, I would feel the oil on my hand. I don't know if I was imagining it or not, but it seems to me that it comes off.
You
If you touch.
probably weren't imagining, because so for this slide where I'm suggesting we protect the environment, the first comment is use animal fat. And when I showed you that little video, I don't know if you caught what she said, but she said that varnish has replaced animal fat. So people
Yeah.
would use animal fat and then varnish. And now if you want to go environmentally friendly, you can use vegetable oil. So vegetable oil doesn't dry like the varnish. So it's going to be on top of your egg, and it's not going to dry. So yes, possibly over time, like, it's going to feel oily because that's what it is. It's
Yeah.
vegetable oil, right? So
Yeah.
it wouldn't be something that you would be using, like touching your eggs a lot. You wouldn't do that. But I like always, recommend to people protect the environment, have a small carbon footprint on our planet. So Easter is next week. So here's just a whimsical design from our Baba's Pysanky boutique that sells t-shirts and gifts and face masks and things like that. And every week I've been featuring one design. This one has a plain white egg asking a beautiful Pysanky. Happy Easter, which is next week, a week from today. So that kind comes to the end of the varnish presentation. So are there any questions? Because I did have a little idea for the balance of the 10 minutes that are left. Any questions about varnish? I think we covered a lot.
Not question, but I like Liquitex. It's a studio artist and smells very
Perfect.
warm. Yeah.
Good.
Smells
Eves
very
recommends the Liquitex. I agree. Very good. So write that down.
Okay.
So
Like,
from my family to yours, to everyone in this Pysanky chat that's been coming every week, just enjoyed it so much. Want to wish you a happy Easter. We've got 10 minutes left. I wish everyone happy Easter or Passover if that's what you celebrate. Bless you. My tradition is to have an Easter basket. It's a Ukrainian religious tradition. I have something I want to show you. This basket is full of ritual foods. Okay, that's very common in Ukrainian, in my religion, which is Ukrainian Catholic. Ritual foods, they all have meanings and symbolism. What you do is you take a beautiful hand embroidered cloth. This is one I embroidered many, many years ago. And it's got Ukrainian words on it that says Christos Voskres, and that means Christ is risen in the Ukrainian font and the Ukrainian language. So what I would do is put this cloth over top of that Easter basket and take it to my church to be blessed. And here is a very poor picture. Sorry, this is just from the internet and it's not very clear, but this just shows a priest in his Ukrainian vestments blessing all the baskets. One of the things in the baskets to represent light is a candle. And so in this picture, you can see all the baskets have a candle. The candles are all lit and people are going to take their blessed foods home and eat it. And I have such great memories of my youth of celebrating Easter this way, and just the food that you eat at Easter, these blessed foods, it has a different taste when it's blessed. Just like if you're outside on a picnic, doesn't food have a different taste? It just tastes better when you eat it outside.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So we've just got a couple minutes left. Does anybody want to share their Easter tradition? What you're going to do this year?
In Quebec, it's with maple syrup.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, every Easter time, my mother makes a dozen of eggs in the maple syrup. Yeah, boil, and you put this for the dessert. Yeah, and after is the bread and the maple syrup too. Slice of bread. It's for the dessert. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
lovely. So will you do that this year, Eves? Will your mother make them or will you make them?
Yeah, maybe, but we are only two people at home now. Yeah.
Right.
I would
Yes.
do it. Yeah.
Well, same with my family. You know, the tradition is not the same. A lot of customs are put on the back burner, but we still have the memories, and that's important that we have the memories. And someday maybe we will redo those traditions. How about you, Rosalind?
Our priest just today announced, because we only have online liturgies, there's very, very few people allowed in church in Toronto. So our priest just announced today some exciting news that he's going to have an outdoor Easter basket blessing. So that will be so beautiful. And I hope the weather cooperates so that he can do that.
Yes, outdoors allows for all the social distancing. So that's really, really good. And Iris, can you share something?
I was in church. We're allowed to have 15% of the parishioners come to church. So there were about 50 people in the church on the main floor. And the priest said that when it's for next Sunday, that there would be a drive-by. So you would have your basket, I guess, either in the window or you could put it in your what is it called? Your, the back of your car in your trunk. You could put it in your
Yes.
trunk, open your trunk, and then he would just walk by the cars and bless the baskets that way, because we're not allowed to be beside each other in the church.
Yes, and just
So-
for those people who don't know, the blessing entails the sprinkling of holy water. So that is part of the tradition and the ritual. The priest will sprinkle holy water. Now, I can't see Deborah, Jerry, or Denise. I don't want to pick on you. But if any of you, or Joyce, if any of you want to share a tradition or a comment, we've just got a couple minutes left before we end this Zoom. And just to let everyone know, I'm taking a break for Easter to have celebrations with my family. And that's why I wanted to wish everyone a very happy Easter before we unceremoniously get cut off.
Last year, I saw a picture of a priest outside the church, and people would go by, and he was blessing them with a water gun, water
A
pistol.
water.
Oh, that's so cute. I guess the kids would love that.
Yeah.
Kids would love that. That's very cute. I've not heard of that before.
So we do the same thing in Polish. Yep, just
Uh-huh.
like Deborah just said. Yep, we do
Okay.
the same kind of basket.
Right. Yes, I'm seeing some of the chats here, which is lovely to see your comments, which I don't look at until this meeting is over. And we just have 2 minutes.
Will you be doing, continuing these Zoom meetings after Easter?
After Easter, I think I'm going to be having a rebirth of these chats. And by that, I think I might have a different format. I've been putting my thinking cap on with some collaborators. That's why, you know, Ukrainian Easter is on May 2nd. I'm going to take a little bit of a break from these live chats, but we will be resuming some sort of educational and informational sessions. Whether or not they're in this format or not, I'm not sure. But please stay tuned. Please keep in touch with me. I feel a real, that I've developed a real friendship with you, and that you've all developed with each other over the weeks, almost 2 years for some of us. So I hope that answers your question, Denise. Sorry, I have
Thank you.
nothing more definite yet, but I'll definitely keep you in my thoughts as I proceed with the format, the agenda, and everything that I have to do to prepare. In the meantime, ask your questions about all those topics we talked about. We can review any of them anytime.
Super, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Denise. Thanks for joining.
Can I ask Eve how to say Happy Easter in French? Because I've forgotten it. I know it's Les Pâques, but how do you say Happy Easter?
Joyeuse Pâques à tous.
Okay, so joyeuse Pâques à tous.
Joyeuse Pâques.
Happy Easter, everybody.
Lovely. Happy Easter
Happy
to you.
Easter.
Happy
All the
Easter.
best. All the
Merci.
best.
Bye.
Okay,
Merci.
bye.
Happy Easter.
Merci,
Christos
thanks.
voskres. And
Thank
all
you.
the,
Easter was fast.
all the
Thanks
Easter
for doing
greetings.
this, Joan. It was
Yes,
very
you're
nice.
welcome. My pleasure. You guys have made it happen and work, and it's just been wonderful because of you. We're all in this together in more ways than one, right?
Right.
So all the best in
Okay,
getting through
thanks.
this Easter season with social distancing and doing all the things that we have to do. But I love that outdoor idea. Let's pray for some nice weather so we can enjoy it.
That's right.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
righty.
Okay, bye-bye.
I'm going to say bye to everybody. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.